Breaking news coming to you from Morganton, North Carolina. I'm news anchor Michael Boyd, here to report on the Gladiators assault that occurred this past weekend at Timmy Mac Cards and Games. This video is sponsored by Big Boy Gaming. Follow the link in the description below for all of your card gaming needs. What's going on, guys, and welcome back to the Edison Club. I'm your host, Mike, coming at you today with the top 4 deck list from a PS5 tournament this past weekend at Timmy Mac Cards and Games in Morganton, North Carolina. Before we get started with today's deck profiles, please make sure that you like, share, comment, and subscribe. It really just motivates me to keep going, getting better at the game, as well as content creation. Also, if you enjoy the kind of content that I make, head on down to the video description and follow the links I have posted there below. Odds are if you enjoy what I make, you'll enjoy what they make as well. Also, if you look right above us, you'll see our subscriber count is currently 2,473 out of our goal of 3,000. So if you're watching this and you're not subscribed, get to it. It's free. You do not want to miss out on any new videos. So top 4 was definitely a little bit different from anything that we've seen here lately. And we're going to go ahead and jump into it, starting with 4th place, which is my friend and the newest member of the Edison Club, Brandon Combs. Brandon played Skill Drain Hero Beat, which is a variant of Hero Beat that we do see that tops from time to time, and it's always cool to see it pop up. It's a very good deck. It's extremely frustrating to play against, trying to get past things like Beast King, Alias, and Thunder King backed by Skill Drain. Just becomes very oppressive over time. So let's go ahead and jump into this and see what Brandon played. Starting off with the main deck, we have 2 Cyber Dragons. In the main deck, gives you extra gas going second. It's a nice card to be able to put beside Alias. 2 copies of Thunder King, 2 copies of Beast King, 3 copies of Alias, 2 copies of Ocean, 1 Stratos, and double Honest. It's going to round off the monster card count. Next, we'll have some pseudo monsters in the form of 2 E-Emergency Calls, 1 Rhoda. Basically, just give you more copies of any of the heroes in your deck. 3 copies of Gemini Spark, 1 Future Fusion, and only 2 Miracle Fusions. You have to keep in mind that this list is primarily focused on flooding out your opponent with Skill Drain, getting in for little bits of damage, Cyber Dragon over things, Alias over things. This deck kind of uses Miracle Fusion as a way to kind of grind. Then 1 MST, then going into the traps, we have 2 copies of Bottomless, 3 copies of D Prison, 2 copies of Hero Blast, 1 Mirror Force, 1 Compulse, 1 Starlight Road, 1 Trap Dust Shoot, 1 Torrential Tribute, 1 Call of the Haunted, 1 Solemn Judgment, and 2 copies of the star of the show, Skill Drain. Going into the side deck, we have 1 Grand Mole, 1 Gores, 1 Heavy, 2 copies of Nobleman of Crossout, 2 copies of Super Polymerization, 2 copies of Royal Oppression, 2 copies of Pulling the Rug, 2 copies of Light Imprisoning Mirror, and 2 copies of Shadow Imprisoning Mirror. Extra deck for this one, not really important. We got some Chimera techs, 1 copy of Cyber Twin Dragon just for the meme, 3 Absolute Zero, 3 Gaia, 1 Grand Neos, 1 5-Headed Dragon, 1 Raptinius, and double Stardust Dragon. So congratulations to you, Brandon. Good job on getting top 4 in 4th place, and I can't wait to see what you do next. So, 3rd place, we have Derek Hill, who is playing Gladiator Beast. Gladiator Beast have really come up into the meta, and we're starting to see a lot of people find new faith in the deck again, and this deck was all over the place, hence the Gladiators Assault. Or I guess you could say that Morganton, North Carolina was the Gladiator Proving Ground. I'll see myself out. So, starting off with Derek's deck list here, we have 2 Prisma, 1 Bestiari, 2 copies of Darius, 2 copies of Equest, 2 copies of Liquari, 1 Murmillo, 2 copies of Rediari, 1 Samnite, 1 Secutor, 1 Gores. I low-key love and also hate how Gores has found itself into the main deck of Gladiator Beasts. Just seems like it takes so long to finally get through everything, and then you go for an attack and just get hit with Gores. So, always really spicy to see Gores and Gladiator Beast. 1 Rescue Cat, 3 copies of Test Tiger rounds off the monster card count. Going into spells, we have 2 Book of Moon, 1 Heavy, 1 MST, and 2 Shrinks. Trap cards, we have a lot of them. It's Gladiator Beast. So 2 Bottomless, 1 Call, 2 Compulse, 2 Deep Prison, 1 Dust Tornado, 2 War Chariots, 1 Mirror Force, 1 Solemn, 1 Trap Dust Shoot, 2 Trap Stun, and 1 Wabaku. 41 card main deck here. Playing a higher card count in a deck like Glad's kind of helps you not draw your stuff like your Secutor and your Samnite quite so much. Keeps them in deck so you can just tag into them and hopefully you don't draw them all the time. So side deck is 2 Cyber Dragon, 1 Homplemus, 1 Brain Control for the Mirror Match, 1 Cold Wave, 1 Econ, 1 My Body is a Shield, 2 copies of Smashing Ground, 1 Super Poly, 1 Dust Tornado, the 3rd War Chariot in the side deck, 1 copy of Starlight Road, and 2 copies of Trap Hole. Extra deck's not super important here. 3 Gazaris, 3 Heraclino, Stardust, Chimera Tech. It's about all you'll ever use. Congratulations and good job to you, Derek. Second place, Chase Simpson. And you'll see the list is almost identical. Derek actually used Chase's list as a model to decide what to play. And you'll see that Chase is not main decking the Wabaku here. And the only difference is in the side deck. Chase is playing Ancient Forest, where Derek was playing Cold Wave. So I do plan on doing a podcast episode very soon with Chase, which is going to include him and my teammate Cole Ayers. We're kind of just going to go over and talk about how we feel like Gladiator Beasts have kind of went from being like a meme deck to actually being a real deck. It's gaining popularity every tournament. It's definitely infuriating to play against. It can be very, very frustrating at times. So I'd love to hear his thoughts on why he feels like the deck has really become a deck to be reckoned with now. So not a lot else to say there. Chase basically tops every tournament with Gladiator Beast. He's probably the best Gladiator Beast player. Like Chase and Cole, they're like right there, like 2 guys from North Carolina, both big Glad Beast enthusiasts. So definitely don't ever want to let both of them be in the same room at the same time, or they'll probably just make this deck too powerful to deal with. So first place is Bradley K. I'm not going to try to say his last name. I don't want to butcher it. And this was Amaryllis. Now, Amaryllis is a deck that I truthfully feel like is definitely in the S tier decks. This deck is incredibly scary. It has a lot of interesting tools that it can use at its disposal. And let's go over the deck list. So 3 Amaryllis and 3 Titanial. It's so sad that it turns out that Quick Draw was not the Titanial deck. And this deck can just take full advantage of Titanial. It being a level 8 for cards like Trade-In. They've started playing Miracle Fertilizer, which is literally just Monster Reborn for any plant monster. Hidden Armory, DDR. There are a lot of ways that you can really break Titanial in this deck. And that's what makes it so scary. 2 Lone Fire, 2 Dandy, 1 Botanical Lion, 1 Debris Dragon, 1 Trooper, 1 Necrogardener, 1 Plague Spreader, 1 Morphing Jar, 2 Lila, and 2 Raikou rounds off the monster card count. Spells, we have 1 Charged Light Brigade, 1 Heavy, 1 MST, 1 Foolish, triple copies of Hidden Armory, 1 Mark of the Rose, 1 DDR, 1 Brain Control, 3 copies of Trade-In, and 2 copies of Miracle Fertilizer. Trap cards, we have 1 Mirror Force, 1 Scrap Iron Scarecrow. This card's so good, just being able to block things like Sirocco Pumps, and just anything from just swinging over you. Having this as like just an infinite resource is so nice. 1 copy of TT, and 3 copies of Regeki Break. Going into the side, we have 2 Cyber Dragon, 2 Crow, 1 Aaron, 1 Gale, 1 Road, 2 copies of Lightning Vortex, 2 copies of Karma Cut, 2 copies of Royal Decree, and 2 copies of Bottomless Trap Hole. Extra deck, we have Armory Arm, Cataster, Android, Brio, Goyo, Iron Chain, Tempest. We have Armor Master, Black Rose, RDA, Stardust Dragon, Colossal Fighter, Dark End Dragon, Thought Ruler, and Chimera Tech. Bradley also wanted me to make sure that I gave a shout out to Alien Card Gaming. These guys are really cool. A couple of them came up, and I've ran into them here and there at big events. Haven't really gotten to know them that well, but hopefully keep going to tournaments, keep coming to locals and stuff like that, get to know them better. The link to their channel is in the video description as well, which you should 100% go and check out. There are a lot of modern videos on there, but they're starting to dabble in Edison, and apparently it's really starting to work for them. So congratulations, Bradley, for taking home a PlayStation 5 at this event. And yeah, guys, that's about all that I have for you today. Hope that you guys enjoyed the video. This is Mike from the Edison Club signing out until the next one. Take care, everyone.